Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to sit down with you. I have some things that I've been thinking about over the last couple days that have been on my mind. I am not pregnant anymore. Obviously, I have two daughters, 2 under 2. If you're new here, since being pregnant, I didn't really have a whole lot of time while I was pregnant to really sit down and just give my thoughts, my advice, everything. The first pregnancy I did, but the second pregnancy I feel like was a whirlwind and went so fast that I didn't have time to really just sit down and vlog and tell about the things that I've learned. And so I want to do that now. My daughters are 2 years old and almost 6 months old, so it has been a little bit since I've been pregnant, but now that I can finally breathe a little bit, I was just thinking back to when I was pregnant and just the things that I wish I would have known, or maybe some advice that I could give you. And hopefully some of these tips help if you are trying to conceive or if you're pregnant. Just some things that I learned along the way between both pregnancies. Doing them back to back, I feel like everything was so fresh in my mind, and the mistakes that I made or the things that I remember doing well, I remembered, and so I feel like I learned a lot in the last 2 years. I guess 3 years if you count being pregnant with baby number one. But if you're trying to conceive or if you are newly pregnant, I hope that some of these tips help you out. Also, if you are trying to conceive, I do have an actual playlist for that and things that we did while we were trying to conceive, things we did to get pregnant, how I knew I was pregnant, pregnancy symptoms, all of that. So if you want to check those out, they're super helpful. I think I did them for both pregnancies, and so you can kind of check those out and see if any of those things help you as well. When I was pregnant and when I was trying to get pregnant, I would always go through these videos on YouTube to just see what other moms went through. I feel like you can never learn too much, and becoming a new parent, literally you learn so much. There should legit be a book like this big of all the things that you should know, need to know, tips, advice, secrets, mom hacks, all of that. There's just so much to learn and so much to know, and so I feel like these types of videos have been so helpful for me. So I figured I would give back and make a video of my own of my top 10 tips and advice if you are pregnant. Also, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you turn on the notifications bell, then you'll be notified of when I post another video, and hopefully these help you out. Hopefully you enjoy this, and I do have a ton of other videos from my past 2 pregnancies, like I said, pregnancy videos, trying to conceive videos, and videos of what it's like to be a new mom with 1 kid and then again with 2 under 2. So if you want to see more of my videos, just make sure that you hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload next. Okay, so let's get into my tips. The very first one I have, these aren't in any particular order or anything like that, just 10 top tips for you. Okay, I'm going to start with actually the most obvious, the one that people tell you all the time, and that's sleep in and do date nights with your partner. Be spontaneous. Like, all of that in one is stuff that I just feel like we don't really get to do, and we probably won't be able to do for a really long time, and that's fine. But while you can, and while it's just you guys, be selfish. Sleep in. Do date nights. Have alone time, and have good conversation. Have quality conversations that are not interrupted, and just enjoy that time with your partner and be spontaneous. Last minute trips, last minute date nights, whatever. Just enjoy that flexibility. I know a lot of people say that, but I definitely think enjoy that while you can. Not to say you'll never have that again, but there's something so special about having that in your life. Being spontaneous, having date nights, having quality conversation without getting interrupted every 2 seconds. It helps strengthen your relationship, which will really help you when the baby comes. Number 2, finish any house projects that you're working on or that you want to get done before having kids or before the baby comes. I tried to make sure we did this the best that we could, because I just knew once the baby gets here, our focus is going to be on her, and we're not going to have a whole lot of time or energy to do those things. Not to mention, you don't really want to live in a construction site while you have a new baby and you just want to be able to nest and feel homey and have things working properly. And so if there's any house projects that you want or need to get done, I highly suggest trying to get those done before the baby gets here if possible. Obviously, not everything works out, perfectly, but if you're able to, I would definitely suggest doing all those before a baby comes. All right, so number 3, I highly suggest discussing with your partner before you get pregnant, or at least before the baby gets here, just daycare options or what you plan on doing as far as daycare, someone staying home, any of that. And be open-minded and be flexible with that, because there's a lot of times I know that moms say that they're going to go back to work, and then their baby might have some medical issues, health issues, that they don't want to leave their baby right away, or they just didn't realize how much they didn't want to leave their baby, or different things come up. But there's been a lot of times where I know moms have said that they're going to go back to work, or dads, and then decided later on that they don't want to and that they'd rather stay home with the baby, which is perfectly fine. But just have like option A, B, and C, just in case any of those things happen, or maybe you can't find a daycare that you really love, or you can't find an opening. I mean, there's just been so many circumstances that have changed over the last few years for us. And so I know things have changed with that. I was planning on going back to work, and then I ended up staying home, and I also worked from home and did that for a while and realized how hard that was. And my best advice for that is just stay flexible, have multiple options in case one thing doesn't work out, but just discuss that ahead of time with you and your partner on what you guys want to do. Do you want to do daycare? Do you want to have a nanny? Do you want someone to stay home? Do you want to try to work from home and watch the baby at the same time? Definitely have those conversations up front just to try to alleviate some of the stress later on. And also, if you are going to do a daycare, you have to start like researching and finding openings, because it's crazy how booked up those things get. Okay, meal prep for after delivery. So about a month or 2 before I delivered, I was making dinner, and I would just make double and freeze it. And I would say those frozen meal prep meals helped us a ton. It was so much easier for the first month or 2 to not have to worry about cooking and cleaning pots and pans and all of that. It was so easy. Literally, with both kids, for the first 2 months, we lived off of paper plates and frozen food that I had prepped in advance, and it was amazing, and it's a lifesaver. And when they ended, it was like, to start cooking again. But huge help. Meal prepping before delivery, just make double, make extras, make your life easier, so that literally all you have to do is throw something in the oven or throw it in a crock pot and you're good. Another tip that I feel like a lot of new moms don't know about is don't go out and buy a bunch of newborn or 0 to 3 month size clothing. They're so cute and they're so tiny, and you think you need like a million, but you don't. Number one, you guys don't usually go anywhere for a long time for the first maybe month or so. And so yes, outfits get spit up and poop and peed on and all of that, but you don't really need that much. And the reason is, one, for the newborn, sometimes babies come out even bigger than you expected, and then they don't even fit in the newborn at all, or not for very long. 2, babies tend to have a growth spurt right around 3 months, and so they just go through that sizing so fast. And it's 2 sizes, newborn and 0 to 3 months, and I have so many clothes that have tags on them, never wore them, not because I didn't want to, but because there just wasn't enough days and enough events to go to where I could change outfits all the time. And I had so many, and I feel so bad. And even the ones they did wear, they wore like once or twice, and then I feel bad because I'm like, I feel like they should get more use out of this. So don't go buy a ton of those sizes, because I feel like they don't stay in them for very long. If you really think an outfit is super cute, get it in a little bit bigger size, like 3 to 6 month or 9 to 12 month, because I feel like those are the sizes that they send. They tend to stay in a little bit longer, but I know every baby is different. But I will say, just don't stock up on newborn and 0 to 3, because also if you're having a baby shower, I feel like that's what everybody gives you. So you just have like this much newborn, this much 0 to 3, and then 3 to 6 month And then after 6 months, I feel like I had like nothing. So just try to spread it out between all the sizes so that you can actually have your baby wear them. Ooh, okay, so this is something I really, really loved doing. I did it with Braylon and I did it with my second baby, Kaya. If you enjoy journaling or making keepsakes, make a journal and document your pregnancy, whether it's photos or letters. I made a little book that both me and Evan wrote letters to both girls while I was pregnant, just waiting for her arrival, finding out if she was a boy or girl, figuring out her name, feeling the baby kick, like just all of those big moments when you're pregnant. They were so special, and it was so cool just to jot down how I was feeling and include the ultrasound picture or a picture of my tummy or just things that were happening along the way. So not only do I have it to look back on, but then when she grows up, she could look back and be like, oh wow, like these are the things that you guys were going through when you were pregnant with me, and like letters that we've written to her. The other thing that we did also was create email addresses for both kids, and so we've been writing them emails, and sometimes we'll add photos and things like that. If we did something that day, it's totally random, and there's not a ton. We'll do them, once every few months or whatever, but something for them to look back on that we wrote them, when they were 1 or 2 or whatever. So those things are really cool, and I can't wait for them to grow up and read them and just look back on those memories, and it's special for me. And so I really suggest you doing that if you like journaling or having keepsake memories, things like that. Make a pregnancy journal, whether it's for yourself or for them. I think it would be something really cool to look back on. The next one I have to say is take the maternity pics. I know that some people go back and forth between wanting to do it or not, and a lot of girls I talk to, when they end up taking the photos, they're like, I'm so glad I did it. And I just think even if you don't hire somebody, it doesn't need to be expensive. Like literally have your husband or partner take them on their cell phone, or if they have a camera, whatever it is, just document this time. It is such a special time. You're gonna want to look back on it. You don't have to look perfect. You don't have to worry about your weight or anything like that. Like, you are growing a human. It's such a amazing, special, important time in your life and in your baby's life, and I think that it is so important to take the maternity photos if you can. If it's something that you are thinking about doing, I think you should. And it doesn't have to be some crazy elaborate photo shoot or anything like that, but just take the photo, have something to look back on, cherish those memories. You're growing a human inside of you. Like, that's amazing. That is awesome. And so I definitely highly suggest it. We have one of ours printed in Brayden's room, and she loves looking at it every single night. Every night she points out, where's mommy, where's daddy? She knows that there's a baby in my tummy. She knows that she's a baby. I don't know that she fully comprehends that yet, but she says it, and she loves looking at it, and I think as she gets older she will, or hopefully she still will, but I just think they're so special, and I love looking back on them and just remembering what an amazing thing it is to have a full-on human growing inside of you. So I suggest taking the maternity pics. All right, this next one was kind of touched on a little bit in the first tip, but I just want to say, have quality conversations with your partner. We don't really get to do that very often anymore. Usually by the end of the night when both kids are sleeping, we're just drained, and we either want to be left alone, we want to watch TV, or we just want to relax and turn off our brain, and we don't really get to have a whole lot of quality conversations with each other anymore, especially at dinner time or anytime during the day. If one of your love languages is quality time, this is so important. So fully take advantage of that now while you don't have kids constantly interrupting and you losing your train of thought all the time. This is big, and this is something that I was guilty of with baby number 1 in my first trimester. Don't stress about the weight gain. I feel like this is so common with women, even in general, but even when we're pregnant, and it's hard. You watch your body go through these changes, and you've never felt like this, you've never looked like this. Sometimes you feel like crap. It's different, especially for someone like me who's used to being active and healthy, and all of this gaining weight and being lazy and tired and all that was such an adjustment for me, and I felt so off. and I would beat myself up about like the weight that was gained and things like that. And then I realized, okay, stop. We're growing humans. We are growing a full-on human. And I don't know that it fully resonates until maybe you see an ultrasound, or maybe when you see the baby come out of you and you're like, holy crap, that was in me. Give yourself grace. We are supposed to gain weight. You're supposed to take care of yourself. You're supposed to rest. And don't stress out about the scale, how much is being gained, or even how little is being gained. If your doctor says that you're healthy and you're good, trust them, but just don't stress out about it. I know that's probably easier said than done, but just give yourself grace and understand your body is literally moving all of its organs, making way for this giant baby. You are growing a human inside of you that A, takes up a ton of space and needs fat, and then B, is taking all of your energy. Your body is working so hard to take care of this baby that a lot of times you don't have energy, and that's okay. Give yourself grace. This is temporary. The baby fat, the baby weight, it'll come off, and just don't stress out about it. Our bodies are meant to change. We may not ever look the same that we did pre-pregnancy, and that's okay. We're moms. We become moms, and there's just something so beautiful about the process. So try to enjoy the process and just give yourself grace and try to rest when you can. Okay, top number 10 tip. I will say this is probably my number one tip that I tell all my friends or people who are trying to conceive or are pregnant. And this really resonated with me. I think it was my first pregnancy. Be present. And what I mean by that is so much of our lives are either worried about something that has happened or anticipating something that's gonna happen. You think about it, you're dating and you anticipate maybe getting engaged, and then you're engaged and all you're thinking about is the wedding. And then once you're married, you're like, oh, let's have kids, and I just wanna have kids, and then you're pregnant and you're waiting for the baby, and then when the baby's here, you're waiting for the baby to walk or talk or whatever. And it's like you are gonna wake up one day and blink and be like, oh, well, where'd all that time go? We are always anticipating something. There's always something amazing happening, and that's great, but it's gonna happen. Be present, be in the moment, enjoy what you have right now, because you're never gonna have this time again. Tomorrow, you're one day older. It's been one day since then. It's just, time goes by so fast. And I remember when I was pregnant, trying to be as present as possible, even though I was so excited to meet my baby girl and see what it was like to be a mom. I was trying to, she was gonna come. It was just a matter of time. I was trying to be in the moment and present and just cherish being pregnant. And then when we were trying to conceive, I was like, I know that that's in the back of my head and that's what I want, but I was also trying to just really, really live in the moment and enjoy it being just my husband and I. Because when is it going to be just my husband and I? So I hope that makes sense. And that's something, yes, Simba? That's something that really, really, I feel like is huge in just all aspects of life, honestly. Be present, enjoy the moment, whether you are trying to conceive or you're pregnant or you have kids already. I just feel like there's so much that we're always looking forward to, when they do this or when they do this or when I have this. And it's like, try to enjoy the moment, try to stay present, try to catch yourself when you're thinking about the future or the past, and just really enjoy what you have today. I know that might be easier said than done, but if I could give any piece of advice, I would really say enjoy it, everything, every moment that you're in, the highs, the lows, all of it. Time goes by so fast, and you'll see that when you have kids, that just when I look back at everything, I feel like it went by so fast, even though I feel like in the moment when we were trying to conceive, it felt like years, it felt like decades. I felt like it was never going to happen. And now here we are. It's amazing. And time goes by so quickly. I feel like any parent will tell you that, and you don't really understand the concept of fast until you have kids, because it is fast. It's a blink, I swear. But yes, stay present, stay in the moment. I think the biggest thing is you can be excited and hope for something that's coming up, but be content and be happy with what you have today. So those are my top 10 tips and advice if you are trying to conceive or if you're newly pregnant. Maybe you know all of these things, maybe you don't, but having pregnancies back to back, I these things really stood out to me, and hopefully they can help you if you are trying to conceive or if you're newly pregnant. Just be patient, give yourself grace, rest when you can, and just enjoy it. Enjoy what you have right now. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be something to look forward to. So just try to stay present and enjoy it. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.